A very mesmerizing morning, dear students. Today we are going to cover an interesting part of English grammar, and that is subject verb agreement or subject verb concord, or we can say the relationship between subject and verb. So, my dear students, before I proceed deep into the explanation and concepts, I would like to tell you about what is a subject. Subject, yes, I know you all know what is a subject. Subject is the doer of any action in a sentence, that is known as the subject. And what is the verb? Verb is the action which has been performed by that subject, so that is known as verb. Now, what is this agreement? See, as you can guess it from the name, subject verb agreement, that means there is an agreement signed by both subject and verb. Agreement means a kind of a legal document. You can make it easy like this way, that consider subject and verb as friends. They both are friends, and they decided let's make an agreement. And in that they decided that verb said to subject that if you will be singular, then I will also be singular, and if you will be plural, then I will also be plural. But what if anyone from both of them will not follow this rule? So, dear students, nothing will happen to them. But yes, of course, your sentences will be grammatically wrong, and you will lose your marks. They will not lose their marks. Okay, so you have to be very careful while handling this concept subject verb agreement, because in this, what happens, verb agrees with the subject. And how does it agrees? It agrees in number and person, and that is why it is known as subject verb concord or relationship in grammar. Suppose if I say he is a good speaker, what if I will say he are a good speaker? This sentence will be grammatically wrong, though I am able to convey my message to the listener. But from the point of view of the grammar, this sentence is absolutely wrong, because the subject is singular. He is singular, one person, one male, and he should take the singular verb as per the agreement. And what is the singular verb? He is. So this sentence should be like this way: he is a good speaker. Then this sentence is said to be grammatically correct. When I am saying that he are a good speaker, that means I am breaching the rule. I am breaching the agreement which the verb has made with the subject. Like if you will be singular, then I will be singular. But here, what's happening in this sentence? When I am saying he are, the subject is singular, he, but the verb are is not singular, it's plural. So the verb is breaching the agreement, and that's the reason my sentence is grammatically incorrect. Okay, dear students, just to make it easier for you, you can see here on the screen. The agreement is like this way, that singular subject will take singular verbs and plural subjects will take plural verb. And this is also known as SSPP rule. That means if subject is singular, for example, he, she, Ram, anybody's name, it, then the verb should also be singular. We should use the singular verb. Whereas if our subject is in plural, for example, they, we, are, then our verb should also comes in plural. Right? So why is it important to go with the subject verb concord so deeply? Because students, in your board exams, you get error omission, gap filling, okay, and all that you will be able to do when you have a thorough knowledge of subject verb concord. Now there might be a question in your mind, what are singular verbs and plural verbs? Noun तो सुना था हमने, singular nouns and plural nouns like book, books, table, tables, fan, fans. But what is the concept of the singular verb and plural verb? What is it? Okay, so बच्चों singular verb and plural verb, it's quite simple and it's unlike nouns. What happens in noun? In nouns, when we add s or es, it becomes plural. Let's take an example. Box is singular noun, and when we add es to it, what does it become? Boxes, and it becomes plural noun. Whereas in verbs, it's totally opposite. When we add s or es to any verb, it becomes singular. Totally opposite from the nouns. And when we use the verb without s and es, then it becomes the plural verb. I will show you some examples for the better understanding. Just see on the screen. What are you watching? What can you see here? See, these are the examples of the noun. Singular noun, boy, cow, box. And when we have added s or es to them, they have become the plural nouns like boys, cows, boxes. Whereas, as I told you, when we add s or es to the verb, it becomes the singular verbs. How? Let me show you. Just have a look here. Eat. When we have added s to it, it has become this singular. You can see the arrow marks. You can see the arrow, it's pointing towards singular. When we have added es to go, it has become goes. So this is how nouns and verbs, they work. They become plural and singular unlike each other. Okay, that means when we add s or es to the noun, they become plural, whereas when we add s or es to the verb, it becomes singular. Now let's see. Singular verbs are like is, was, has. And what is their plural form? The plural form of is are. The plural form of was is were, and the plural form of has is have. So you can remember this by a trick, that singular verbs, I'm talking about singular verbs. Singular verbs always takes s in their end. If you can see here, is, the last word is s. Was, the last word letter is was. Has, the last letter or the alphabet is s. So it can be a trick for you that singular verbs always end with an s. Okay, so now is it easy for you? Singular verbs always takes s or es in there at the end. Okay, now let us move to the examples. Examples of SSPP rule, and it's your test also. The boy read. It's wrong. What is the subject? The boy read. Boy is our subject, as you can clearly see. It's written by S, mentioned by S. And read is our verb. So the boy read is wrong. Why? The boy is the only one boy. He is the one boy. The subject is single. It's not boys. So I already told you, when the subject is singular, we take singular verbs. So how we make verbs singular, we have already discussed by putting s or es in the verbs. जब हम एस और ई एस वर्ब में लगाते हैं तो वो सिंगुलर बन जाते हैं, लेकिन जब हम एस और ई एस नाउन में लगाते हैं तो वो प्लूरल बन जाते हैं। अब हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? हम नाउन की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। वी आर नॉट डिस्कसिंग नाउन हियर, बल्कि वी आर डिस्कसिंग वर्ब हियर। सो व्हेन वी विल ऐड एस टू द वर्ब, इट विल बिकम सिंगुलर. Now we have clearly seen that our subject, the boy, is singular. So our verb must be singular. So it should be reads. So the correct sentence is the boy reads. Now look at the second example. The boys read. The boys reads. It is for you. Tell me which one is correct and which one is wrong. Yes, of course. The boys read is absolutely correct because our subject is plural. Boys. Boys is the plural subject, and that's why the boys is taking the verb read, the plural verb read, and it is absolutely correct. The boys reads is grammatically wrong sentence. Now let us see. Now let's see the another example of SSPP rule. He was going to school and they were going to school. Both the sentences are absolutely correct. Why? Let me tell you. He was going to school. The subject he is a singular subject. Was, the verb, helping verb. Was is also the singular verb. So with he, singular subject, as I told you, takes singular verb. So he, singular subject, taking a singular verb, was going to school. Absolutely correct. Now let us move to the second sentence. They were going to school. They were going to school. Here, dear students, just see the subject. They. Who is doing the work? They, our subject. They were going to school. They is the plural subject. They means more than one. So that means it is a plural subject. Singular, plural. You know the concept. Singular means once. Plural means more than once. One. So here they is more than one. And when we are talking about the plural subject, obviously we will take the plural verb. So what is the plural verb of was? Were. So they were going to school. If this sentence would have written in this way, they was going to school, it would be a grammatically incorrect sentence. So he was going to school, singular subject, singular verb. They were going to school, plural subject, plural verb. So I hope the concept of singular subject, singular verb and plural subject, plural verb must be clear to all of you. Okay? Now let's have a look on another example. She has a car and they have a car. Again, she is a female, single, one only, and with that we will take the singular verb. And what is that singular verb? Has, ending with S in the end, S letter. Okay, so she is one lady, one female, and she has a car, and has is our singular verb. So that's why she has, singular subject, singular verb. In the second sentence, if you will see, they have a car. So they is the plural subject with the plural verb have. So I hope this much is clear to you. Singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb concept. Now what about number, the number of you? What is you? Is it singular or plural? There might be a question in your mind. You can ask this question to me. Ma'am, what is you? Is it a plural or a singular? So बच्चे, for your knowledge, I just want to tell you that you is both, you can say. You is used for a plural number. Okay? So you can be singular or plural, but it always takes a verb in plural number. you जो है that can be your singular also, it can be plural also, but there is a rule. And what is that rule? That it always take verb in plural number. That means it always takes plural verb. Okay, so I hope this doubt must be clear till now. Have you ever seen the sentences, you are a good girl? We say you are a good girl. Suppose there is one girl, any one girl, and I am talking to her and I says, you are a good girl. So am I talking to a mass? No, that is only a one girl I am talking to, I am referring to. But still, when I use you, I use the plural verb are. If I will say you is a good girl, it's absolutely wrong. Okay, because it does not agree with the subject verb concord or agreement. So you always takes a plural verb. Do remember, you can use whenever you have any doubt, dear students, you can speak some of the sentences and your doubt will be clear. Sometimes it happens that we get confused कि इसके साथ क्या आएगा. So what we shall do at that time, we should speak some of the sentences. We should remember some of the sentences like you are a good girl, you are a brilliant child. Okay, so this is how you can recall the sentences, and you can see which verb is coming along with particular subject, and then you can do your answers or you can speak. Now let us move. So there will be another question, ma'am, what about I? I is singular or plural? Bachche, I is always singular, but remember there is a rule. I means I, of course it is singular, but there is a rule. And what is that rule? In present tense, we treat I as plural. That's why you would have seen I have a beautiful car. And in past tense, it is treated as singular. I was going to market. I was going to market. Okay, so do remember that I is always a singular subject, but when we use it in present tense, we treat it as plural, and when we use it in past tense, we treat it as singular. You would have seen somewhere many sentences with I were. Bachche, that is a different concept. That was something you are desiring for. For example, I wish if I were the Prime Minister of India. That means I am longing to be Prime Minister of India. I just think like this way. That is my wish to be the Prime Minister of the India. So that is not the subject verb concord. I were. So do not get confused. Okay. Now I hope the doubt between you and I must be clear to everybody. Now let's see some examples. Now let's see the examples. Here are some examples. See how we are treating I in present tense. I have a car. Plural verb. Present tense, as I told you, that we treat we take the verb with I in the plural form. So which verb we have taken? We have chosen have. We have not taken has, because has is a singular verb. If we will take the singular verb, our sentence will be wrong. So with I, we always take plural verb in present tense. So is it clear? I have a car is correct, whereas I has a car is totally wrong. If it would be he, then he has a car would be absolutely correct here. Okay, singular subject and singular verb concept, SSPP rule. But I is an exception. So with I, we take plural verb in present tense, whereas in past tense, we always take singular verb with I. Let's have a look at the past tense also. Okay, past tense we will see later on. Firstly, have a look here. I go to school. I goes to school. Which one is correct now? Of course, I के साथ plural verb. So, I go to school is absolutely correct. Look above. I have eaten or I has eaten. I have eaten. So, now is it clear to everybody that how do we treat I in present tense? We always take plural verb with I in present tense. Okay. Now move to the past tense example. I was going to school, I were going to school. I was a student, I were a student. So obviously the singular verb will be the correct choice. Now students, let us move to the very first concept of our subject verb concord, and we are going to discuss about the usage of and. A-N-D, and. हिंदी में मतलब होता है और. We all have used it many times, number of times. But dear students, let me tell you that there are some agreements between subject and verb while using this word and. And the very first rule is that when two subjects, subject 1 and subject 2 namely, they join with this word and, they always take the plural verb. Whenever the two subjects join with this word and, they always take plural verb. For example, I and Meera are going to market, or Meera and I are going to market. Meera and I am going to market is grammatically incorrect. Okay? So whenever there are two subjects joined with the word and, do remember to put a plural verb with them. Okay? Now let's see the example. Look here. He and I were friends. He and I was friend is wrong. He and I were friends is correct. Now the second rule, dear students, which is very, very important rule. I think you all should know about it. That is our second rule of and. What is the second rule of and? Dear students, when two nouns, I'm talking about two nouns, remember this thing, two nouns. When two nouns are connected with the word and, but they talk about one person, they express one feeling or one abstract, one expression, then we always use a singular verb with them. For example, you can see here on the screen, the teacher and author. The teacher and author is my friend. Why I used is with that? Because the teacher and author is the one person. Supposingly, take my example only. Supposingly, I am your teacher and I am an author of a story book also. Suppose I have written a book also. So when you are saying the teacher and author, that means you are referring to me. I am the one person with both these qualities, with these traits. Like I am a teacher also and I am the author of a book also. So that means you are referring to your English teacher at that time. There we will use singular verb. Okay, but when the both are two different personalities, like the teacher and the author are my friends. The teacher and the author are my friends. Here I changed the verb. I said are my friends. Why here I used are? Why here I have used the word are here because I am talking about two different personalities. I am talking about two people at the time. Now there would be a question in your mind that, ma'am, how would we come to know that the sentence is talking about one person or the sentence is talking about the two different persons? So let me make you easy for you all. Dear students, whenever in a sentence you find the article, here also you can see, whenever in a sentence you find the article only in front of one noun. Suppose, see, look at the very first sentence here, the teacher and author. Here we have put the article the before the teacher and not before the author. So whenever there is only one article used, that means we are talking about one person only. The teacher and author, the both are same person. Okay? Whereas when we put article before both the nouns, as you can see here in the sentence number 2. The teacher and the author. Whereas in the first sentence, see carefully, before author there is no article. The नहीं लगा है उसके पहले. But in second sentence we have put 2 articles. Teacher के पहले भी we have used article, and before author also we have used article. That means these are 2 different persons. The teacher, let's say I am the teacher, and the author, let's say some other person. So that means we are talking about 2 different people at the same time. And whenever there will be any sentence with the article before 2 nouns, that means 2 persons we are talking about, and we will take the plural verb with that. That means the teacher and the author are 2 separate persons, 2 different persons, and we are considering them as plural, and we will take a plural verb with that. So I hope how to make out whether we are talking about one person in a sentence or we are talking about 2 different persons is clear to you. We simply have to see the article. If there is article before both the nouns, that means we are talking about the 2 different people at the same time. And whereas if there is article only before one noun and before the second noun there is no article, after and there is no article, that means the person is one and same. So we are talking about the same person. Okay, is it clear? Now you can do that. Fine. Now let us do this exercise. You can see here the director and the producer. What shall come over here? Tell me, what will come? Has or have? See, the director and the producer. We have put article before director also and before the producer also. That means we are talking about 2 different persons. Okay, so have will be should be here, right? Dear students, you can take this example like this way also. Suppose the director is Sanjay Leela Bhansali and the producer is Vashu Bhagnani. So we are talking about 2 different persons in this sentence. So that's the reason we will put have here. If it would be the director and producer, that means director is also Sanjay Leela Bhansali and producer is also Sanjay Leela Bhansali of that particular film. So we are talking about Sanjay Leela Bhansali overall. But that will be possible in which case? When there is no article before the word producer. Is that clear? Okay. So in the second sentence, the director and producer has come. I hope it must be clear to everybody. Okay. Now let us move to the third rule. The third rule is that whenever we whenever there are 2 numbers and they are connected with the word end, so you can put after those numbers either a singular verb or a plural verb. Both the verbs, if you are going to put, shall be considered correct. 2 and 2 is 4 is also correct. 2 and 2 are 4 is also correct. But in general sense, or generally, mostly in fact, people use singular verbs with these numbers. And in fact, I would prefer you all to use the singular verb. Because when we speak, when we write, it looks smooth with this. Otherwise, if you are writing 2 and 2 are 4 is also absolutely correct. But in listening, when we listen this, it looks little bit awkward. Otherwise, 2 and 2 is 4 is absolutely correct. 2 and 2 are 4 is also correct. So this is the rule of English grammar, subject verb concord, when we use and with 2 numbers. Okay, let's see the another rule. Okay, dear students, one of my favorite one. Dear students, do remember there are some singular nouns which when we connect them with this word and, they work as a pair, okay, and they are generally used together. So these subjects, when we deal with in subject verb concord, so we use a singular verb with them. For example, I'm talking about singular nouns. Do remember this thing. There are some singular nouns which, when we connect them with this word and, they work as a singular subject. How? Let us see. For example, if I say bread and butter is my favorite dish. So dear students, when I'm bread and butter definitely are two different things. But why we consider it as a single subject? Because when we eat it all together. Likewise, we take a slice of a bread and then we apply butter on it and then we take it all together. कोई ऐसे तो नहीं करता ना that somebody is eating the slice of the bread differently and then afterwards eating, having a spoon of butter. We don't eat it like this way, okay? So because we are eating both the things together, we consider bread and butter as a singular subject, and that's the reason we put a singular verb that is afterwards. Okay, bread and butter is my favorite dish. Similarly, you can take another example like rice and curry. How do we eat rice and curry? We eat rice and curry all together. We do not do like this way that we are eating rice first, afterwards I'm having my curry, a spoon of curry. No, we mix it and we have it all together. Either we put curry in the rice or rice in the curry, but we mix it. So when we are taking both the things all together, that means we are considering it as one subject, and one subject means singular verb. Okay, so that's the reason there are some singular nouns which, when are connected with this word and, always take singular verb. I hope this must be clear to you all. Now let's move forward. Now dear students, let's move to the another rule. Whenever two singular subjects are connected with this word and before any of the subject, if there is a word like each, every or no, then we always use a singular verb with them. Do remember singular subjects. I'm talking about singular subjects. If you can see on the screen, boy and girl is written. Boys and girls is not written. Okay, so boy and girl is written, boy and girl. Singular subjects means one boy, one girl. So whenever these singular subjects are connected with the word, as you can see on the screen, boy and each girl, and there is a word before that, that is each, every or no, then we always use singular verb before after them, right? Not before, after. Now see this example. Each boy and each girl is invited. That is the correct form. Each boy and each girl are invited is grammatically incorrect. Okay, so each boy and each girl means we are talking about every girl, prati ek, we are talking about everyone, single one in the class. So that means is. Okay, now let's see the another examples here. Every man, woman and child was given food. Every man, singular, one man. Woman is also singular and child is also singular. So that's the reason we are using singular verb was. Every man, woman and child were given food is totally wrong. As I told you, if there are three words before any of the singular subject like no, every, each, we always take singular verb. See here, no man and no woman was present there. Because we have used this word no and the subjects are singular, man and woman, that's the reason we are using the singular verb, that is was. Dear students, these are some of the points which you should remember when we study subject verb concord. Okay, Now let's move ahead. So this is the very first concept of and which we have done today. I hope it must be clear to everybody, because the time is little less. So that's the reason I am winding up today's session with the very first concept of and. I want you all to revise this concept. Write as many sentences as you can. I will also send you the exercise in the form of PDF for the same. I will catch you up with the other rules and the new concepts in my next video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy always. Have a very great day ahead.